This is the King and Doc podcast. I am the Blunt Doctor here with your man King Hooley. We are here to talk about all things sports and entertainment. What's up, Hooley?
What's the word, my boy? What's going on with you? Happy Tuesday, everybody out there watching? What's going on with you, man? How was your week? How was your weekend?
Well, I mean, it was going fine. It was okay. It was a regular weekend. I was enjoying myself, happy, doing work, homework, having a few drinks when my least favorite news ever, but also my most favorite news ever broke because, I mean, look, and we'll get into it, but Luka just broke the hearts of all of Dallas without even doing it himself. And now in different ways, he's going to do it to the people of Los Angeles. And I love that. So I love the pain for everyone. I love the universal pain that's coming. I'm a hater. I'm a certified hater, and I accept it. Certified hater boy. And let that be a little hint, a little foreshadowing. Anyway, how are you? How was your weekend, sir? Because I'm just like dropping hints.
Hey, my weekend was pretty cool, dude. Something did happen crazy. You did text me about it, and it was crazy because when it happened, we talked about the trade, of course, with Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. I had just first shout out to Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I was in the group in their group chat, and the homie Frankie the Yankee had dropped it in there, and I was looking at it, and it just something seemed off. It was giving me like the when Kobe passed away. You know what I'm saying? I was frantically searching, like, okay, I gotta verify this. This can't be right. Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Like, in what world is that okay?
Or my homie's mom texted us about it, and I was like, "What kind of crazy shit is your mom reading?" I was like, "She reading like One America News Sports? What the fuck is going on here?" And I was like, I was just like, "That's so funny that your mom reads crazy things." And then he was like, "Nah, dude, this is real."
Yes.
I just thought it was bullshit. Yeah, I just didn't think it was a real goddamn thing. Like, that's just where I was at, dude. Yeah, I just didn't believe it.
I 100% didn't believe it either until I started seeing it. They start slowly popping up. They start like, for, I guess it would be more credible sources, start slowly popping up. You see ESPN and Bleacher Report, and this, said everybody's talking about. But man, let's talk about it though.
Yeah, once I realized it came from Shams, I was like, okay. I mean, it's a completely indefensible trade for the Mavericks position. I don't give a shit what you say about conditioning and weight problems, blah blah blah. You traded a 25-year-old dude who's been first team All-Pro 5 straight years for a 32-year-old. You never do that. He didn't ask for a trade. He was about to sign a contract extension. You didn't even get both the Lakers' first-round picks. This is a case of Nico Harrison being obsessed with the idea of acquiring Anthony Davis, with him clearly hating Luka Doncic and not respecting him at all and wanting to get the fucking rid of him as quickly as he could. And it's a completely indefensible trade, even if it works out. Let's say that they're correct that Luka doesn't take his conditioning seriously, blah, 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 all these things. Even if the trade works, they have to win multiple championships and the Lakers have to win none. Or, I mean, at the very least, if they win one and the Lakers win none, then it would be a defensible trade, I suppose. But that's literally where you're at, because you can't be good. You can't be a good team. You can't be solid. You have to be fucking the best team, because you just traded the player that would net the largest trade package in history for, fucking nothing. And it's just, it's indefensible. It's ridiculous. And again, the only thing that can really make this worth it is if Luka continues to have the same physique that I do and shows up as a fat ass every offseason and doesn't try. Because that's what it is,
Yeah.
Now you can't spell A without Luka, not anymore. Because he's gonna have the ball every single goddamn game, and you're gonna watch him get blown by every single possession, and you're gonna sit there and be like, all right, how do I feel about this? You're gonna be where Mavericks fans were in that hell for a while, and
oh my goodness,
now it's like, I mean, I don't know, like I hate him, and yet it's still completely indefensible. Am I crazy? I don't know how to explain this.
Nah, you're not crazy at all, dude. It just proves to me that we live in a simulation, and I figured out that simulation is the universe we live in is like 2K. It's got to be 2K, because this has to be like a forced trade type situation. I saw a video where a guy like put it in actual NBA 2K. Luka Doncic with who else went with it? Markieff Morris, and then like a pick for
Maxi Kleba as well.
yeah.
And Max Christie.
For AD, and then, so that list of people, whatever, what I'm saying, and it got revoked. So like this has to be a forced trade type thing. This is gonna be crazy, but
yeah, and that's the thing is 2K trades are terrible. Yeah. They take some of the dumbest trades ever. So when even 2K is like, no, we're not trading Luka Doncic for anything.
It didn't seem right. I halfway still don't believe it.
If they had gotten the second Lakers pick and they had also found a way to get Austin Reeves routed to a third team so that they could get picks for Austin Reeves, that is a little different. I'm not saying that it would have been acceptable, but at that point, you would have an all defense, all NBA player, 2 first-round picks on a team that could potentially implode 6-7 years from now. You would have, again, whatever assets you're able to get from Austin Reeves. Had they gotten the Lakers to go all in and given every single asset they possibly have, you might be able to discuss this as something that was acceptable, but they didn't even get close to that. They got nowhere near the whole package, and it's just...
It's unfair.
Well, yeah.
It seems like heavily tilted to the Lakers side.
Yeah, of course. And this is yet again the Lakers being delivered a marquee player for nothing.
I've worn this jersey more than he's worn his jersey. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what's going to happen?
And I mean, for the Lakers, obviously you do this 100 times out of 100. You got a championship with Anthony Davis, so you can consider that trade a success. I mean, it's been talked about to death, and still there's no way to say it enough. This is a horrible trade. It's an incredible trade for the Lakers, and it is what it is. And I just hope that Luka is so fucking terrible that he makes the trade worth it. That's my, but then if the Mavericks win, then I'm like depressed then too. So it's just, it's a hard life as a Suns fan right now. Okay. It's like now Kevin Durant could be traded at any minute, which I do not fucking want, but it's possible.
I saw that.
I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. The rumblings have picked up so much that where there's smoke, there's fire. So clearly the discussions are being had. I'm still hoping that the Suns are able to find a way to trade Beal and get Jimmy Butler. You never know, but Miami's not taking Beal. So we got to say Jimmy. Please say Jimmy. I would love for Jimmy to come to Phoenix, but they got to find a way to send Beal elsewhere because Miami's not taking Beal. So, but this all begs the question, though. Here's the thing, because when you go on Mavericks Reddit Saturday night, dude, they were like,
oh my God,
they were like lighting themselves on fire. So, but it begs the question.
They are going through it, bro.
As they should be, rightfully so. But so it's a fair question. Okay, in this case, you have a team that had a 25-year-old superstar that was going to sign him to a contract extension that he was going to take, that just came off a finals, appearance, that has another superstar in Kyrie Irving, that has a young, talented player in Derek Lively. And they just punted all that shit away. Is it ever acceptable?
I want to know the conversation. I want to know how this came about.
Well, and it's the way it was put on Twitter.
It has to be fishy. Like someone has to have something on this level. And then number 2, do you think LeBron James really didn't know about this?
I really do think he didn't know.
Okay.
There's no way. Like, dude, Clutch, for all the things that Clutch does, operate in secret is not one of them. They go right out in the public and say, we want Anthony Davis to go to the Lakers. Do not trade him to Boston. We won't sign an extension with Boston. And they get fined for doing those things. But Clutch deals with shit in public. Yeah. This is not a Clutch deal. This was an ownership deal. And as one of the Mavericks fans from Reddit put it, Rob Pelinka groomed Nico Harrison over 2 weeks. And I mean, he did. He kept being like, somehow convinced him that this was a fair trade. I mean, listen, Pelinka deserved executive of the decade potentially for this one. Again, it's just, as much as I hate Luka, you gave up nothing. And again, I think, and this is the point, this is the question we were going to ask, and I think it's a fair question. Is it acceptable as a fan when your team says, we don't give a fuck, we're punting? Can you just become a fan of a new team? Is it acceptable to give up on your team and abandon them because they have just abandoned you as a fan. And I'm not saying I've ever done this. I haven't, but there have been times when I felt that way.
Yeah.
And I never did it, but at my core, I was like, fuck this. So this is the question. Is it okay?
I am currently on the fence with the New York Giants as we speak right now. You know what I'm saying? So like everything is pending pending this draft. See what happens in this draft. If they find a way to fuck up this draft again, I'm done. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it is okay because like most of us, you know, when you become a fan, like, it's normally like earlier on in your youth where you're making stupid decisions anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's okay to stop making having kid decisions and sticking with the team and make a grown-up decision. You know what I'm saying? You can have your kid team and then have your adult team.
I like that.
I think my kid team is gonna be the Giants because like that's what my heart was. You know what I mean? Growing up, they do nothing but piss me off. So I need to find an adult team. And I you know, as much as I wanted to be the Rams, I'm leaning towards the Chargers.
I like that thought process. Your kid team and your adult team. I like that.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, that's like people getting married when they, you know, fresh out of high school. Like you never experienced anything.
If I'm in a toxic relationship with my sports team, I do not have to stay.
You don't have to stay. Exactly. You can walk away, bro. There's you know, we should probably create a group for battered fans.
Yo, there was a time where I almost got there with the Suns, and I didn't ever it was when they fired Alvin Gentry, and then the Pelicans hired Alvin Gentry, who I loved. Mm-hmm. And funny enough, the Pelicans also had Anthony Davis, who I loved until he went to the Lakers.
Right.
And I was like, dude, my favorite player and my favorite coach. I'm like, I just want to root for the Pelicans. But the thing is, well, I jokingly said that, and the visceral hatred of the Pelicans came up through my body, and I was like, okay, so it's not real. It's just frustration at the team. But when Tom Brady left the Patriots, I was like, you're dead.
I get it.
I'm rooting for the Bucks more. I still care about the Patriots, but the Patriots are my childhood team and the Bucks are my adult team. That's the best way to put this because I just feel divorced.
Great idea. Cause the Chicago Bulls were my childhood team. Once Michael Jordan retired, I was like, do I really like these guys? You know, enough to continue to be a fan. When I go buy now that Michael Jordan's not on the team, when I go wear a Bulls shirt, more than likely not. So I picked another team and it ended up being the Miami Heat.
And Miami's you know, that's an enjoyable organization to root for.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about the Suns, at least.
I don't like the Knicks. I can't stand the Knicks. And once Chicago was done beating up on them, Miami was the next choice because Miami used to beat up on the Knicks too. So
nobody likes the Knicks except Knicks fans. Everyone else hates the Knicks. So you know, that is what the Knicks are. Hating the Knicks is an institution of basketball fandom.
You love them or you hate them. I can't stand the fucking Knicks.
Again, I don't think anybody outside New York can. Fuck the Knicks. That's the stance of the King and Doc podcast.
Hey, did you check out the Grammys?
Man, that was some shit. I wasn't necessarily surprised by anything that happened, but seems like the world was. How did you feel about all of it? I was, I was fine with everything. But
before we get into that, I kind of want to get into this guy right here, man.
Yeah.
Kendrick
Let's start with Kendrick. All right.
Let's start with Kendrick. Not like Sweets the Grammys. I think was nominated 5 times. And he came out with all 5 awards. Now, living in LA and that song coming out, this is the biggest song of the year. You know what I'm saying? I coached football too, 9U football this past year. I guess this past year. And all you heard every Saturday is they not like us. They not like us. You hear it in the parking lot, you hear it on the field. It's everywhere. You hear it in the radio. We literally heard this song everywhere. Very impactful. I don't think I went in. There wasn't a place in LA that I didn't go that I didn't hear. Everywhere. Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet to literally everywhere. The song just rang out, right? But it's a diss song, right? And it's aimed at Drake, and it's calling Drake all these vile things. And you not only do you have to hear this song all year long, it's like the best song. I mean, it won the best record of the year, but it's the diss song.
Yeah, I mean,
and then on top of that, it wins 5 Grammys, bro.
I mean,
I feel I don't know. I kind of want to hug Drake right now.
We are kind of in an era where, like, diss records are not what they were. Like when you and me were coming up, like, there was entire albums that were, like there were, it was a different culture. It was everything was aggressive, and it was either you're in my camp or their camp, and that's what it was. And I'm not necessarily saying that's better because that led to a lot of violence. We don't want that. I'm just saying that in 2025, for a diss track to be best song at the Grammys and everything, that shit is shocking. And I will say, I don't like Drake, but I will say, like, calling him, I guess I don't know, like, but him being called a certified pedophile and his label not backing him up, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I don't know anything about Drake. Maybe I don't know enough, but I know that he's not been canceled. So, like, that to me, like, I'm not saying it. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, people say a lot of shit, but the number one record of the year is when, like, basically one of the two most famous rappers in the world accuses the other most famous rapper in the world of being a pedophile. And, like, the entire music industry is, like you said, every single person's. I don't know what to say about this because it's just, it is crazy to see. Again, we know who's won this feud. It's not a question. Drake announced today that he's like got new music coming out, and it's like, yeah, homie, but like,
I mean, what are you gonna do? You think he's done?
I mean, I think he's done as being Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that when you consider, like, international megastar, top of the game, every album sells 8 million copies, blah, 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 this kind of shit. I don't know that he's going to be able to be that dude anymore because, when you get bodied, man, it just kills you. Like, it's just hard to come back from. Like, we know, like, the funny thing is, like, look, like, Drake in the eyes of hip hop won the battle with Meek Mill, right? I don't agree.
Yeah.
But in the eyes of most people, Drake won that battle. And Meek Mill is kind of the only dude who's been able to kind of come back from that. And he had to go to prison immediately afterward to kind of, like, get his credentials back. So I don't know, man. Like, what do you think? Like, I just kind of think this is maybe the end of Drake as the top of the marquee dude.
Is it the end of him? No, absolutely not. I mean, because you have he still has a very big fan base, and they're gonna make sure, he gets there's people out there like saying, oh man, Not Like Us wasn't that great. Those people are Drake fans, and there's a lot of them out there. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
So they're gonna support whatever this guy does. And is it gonna get overhyped a little bit if he comes out and says he's gonna try to diss again? I don't know if he would want to do that. Like, at this point, I think he's just, all right, you took a year off. You got your ass whooped. You took a year off. You know what I'm saying? Relax a little bit. Go put out some party music. You know what I'm saying? Make the girls feel okay. And then if you want to come back and try to put your toe in the streets just to test it out a little bit, do that. But don't immediately try to come back and go at Kendrick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, you lost that battle, bro. You need to sit down. You don't get, unless you have an automatic rematch in your contract, you don't get that. You just got your ass whooped. No. you got beat pretty bad, like convincingly.
Well, and he's
So
proven he
you don't.
doesn't belong in this arena. Like the whole thing with Meek, the defining moment of that battle was when he was on stage and they played a bunch of memes on the screen. It wasn't about his music or whatever. And then, Pusha T baits him with the little diss, and then he comes back and tries to attack Push, and then Push absolutely fucking buries him multiple ways, to the point that Drake's label removes the story of Adidon from YouTube and everywhere else they can. Like, Push absolutely fucking ruined him. And he should have learned at that point, you do not want to get into it with real rappers. Like, you are a pop rapper. Go in that arena, stay in that lane.
Stay in that lane, yeah.
And the thing is, dog, like, filing a lawsuit doesn't help. Like, that's not
the move.
No. That ruins your credentials forever. Like, your certifieds are done when you go to court because you mad. Like, that's not what we do in hip hop.
You wouldn't even told your mama. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't told your mama. That's what you did. That's the equivalent. Hey, he said I was a pedophile and we don't know if that's true. Like, what do you mean we don't know if that's true? Is it true or not? But wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to just like brush that shit off and fire back. Like, if you're gonna do this, you should just be able to fire back a dish that's equitably insane and offensive. I don't know, but the problem is, again, you keep putting people's name in your fucking mouth, and then they end you. You like this is not shit that he is starting this shit. And I think you're right. Like, you're right. He's got too many people that are Drake stans, but
there's too many. There's a lot.
Go back to those people. Go back to making your little stealing music Hotline Bling, which is just a remix of someone else's song, by the way. Just go do that shit. You're not meant for this world.
You good? He's good over there. He's good over there.
You're not meant for this world, and that's fine, by the way. Yeah. Not everybody, like if I ever made a record that went anywhere and people were like listening to my music, and then I got dissed by a much better rapper, I would not like lace him up and be like, all right, here we go. I'd be like, man, he got me. And I would move on. I'd fucking move on, because you don't need to, don't swim with bigger sharks, man.
You ready for some controversy?
Let's do it.
All right. I know it says Grammy for Country Artist of the Year. I don't know if that's true or not, but she definitely won the Grammy for Best Country Album of the Year. And first off, let me congratulate her for first before the Beehive come at me. She won that elusive Album of the Year. Miss Beyonce Knowles Carter. Congratulations. But the controversy comes in. The controversy comes in because there's a lot of people who feel that she didn't deserve it because she's not a quote unquote country artist.
And what do we call those people, Hooli?
And hold on a second. and Cowboy Carter isn't a country album. What do we call them?
Racists.
100% racist. Like, there's a reason why. Music is one of those things that like anybody can tap into, anybody can do. You can tap into any genre you feel like. You know what I mean? It depends on what suits you. You know what I'm saying? Some people might say it's cultural appropriation. Other people might just be inspired by it. You know what I mean? Her making a country album is, I don't see anything wrong with it, because everybody does it before. When what's his name? The greatest of all time, Garth Brooks had a rap album, right? What was his name? Chris Gaines. People get that.
That was his rock album. Yeah, I can't remember if it was rap album too, but yeah, Chris Gaines. Yeah,
I don't remember what his album's called, but he went by Chris Gaines when he did that. Macklemore won best rap album in 2012, right, or 2013. No one said anything. No one cared. No one gave a fuck.
Yep.
But Beyonce makes country music, and she's not country, which is crazy to me because she's from Texas. Has anyone ever heard her like speaking voice? Beyonce is country as fuck. Mom's Louisiana, dad is from Alabama. Shout out to Alabama 251 Mobile, stand up. But come on. We really, 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 really know why. And I always say this to people, man. Your first mistake is thinking we're dumb. That's your first mistake.
Well, and the fact that she was completely blocked out of the CMAs is just the proof. It's just the proof. Like, yeah, number one, you're trying to tell me again, yeah, like you said, she's from Houston. Like, what are you trying to tell me she's not, doesn't know country music, can't make a country music album? And by the way, if she can't change genres, then why is Taylor Swift able to make pop albums? She started as a country artist. Like, we change all the time. So that shit is just disingenuous as fuck. And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Look, white people from the South get really angry when black people do something better than they do. And it doesn't even like mean all black people. This is just one black person who one time made a better country album than all the white people, and they cannot handle
it. Just in 1 year. Just
one year. One time.
Not of all time.
Yeah.
It's not of all time. It's just 1 year.
Can't have it. The, you know.
This is I would say preposterous, but they're too stupid to understand what that word means.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I mean, number one, like, anyone who's out here being like, I sincerely care about country music in 2025, like, I know who you voted for, so I don't really give a fuck about your opinion anyway. So, you know, and like, she wanted to make a country album. So what? Let her do it. People enjoyed it, obviously. And I understand the concept of people who say, like, oh, I hate that, you know, when someone just comes in, like, because it was her first country album and she wins record of the year, and people are like, I'm not racist, I just hate when someone doesn't pay their dues or something. And it's like, okay, so did you get like angry when Machine Gun Kelly suddenly changed to rock after Eminem completely destroyed his entire rap career?
So so crazy. He forgot he was a rapper.
He just forgot every single thing about that. He was a whole new dude. You know, and so none of this is genuine, right? It's just faux outrage. Just we don't like to see black women do well. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, this country does not want to see black women succeed. We just had a chance to elect one, didn't do it. And like, why? We like, look at who we elected instead. This country has a deep-seated problem with black women succeeding, and whether it's the presidency or the Country Music Awards or any of these things,
it's crazy.
It repeats itself.
We live here.
Yeah,
that's the wildest.
And yo, fuck those people. I hope she makes Cowboy Carter too.
Me too. And I you know what? I might buy it. I'm not even a big Beyonce fan at all. You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to Destiny's Child, watch Destiny's Child's videos on mute. I wasn't that, you know what I'm saying, that impressed by them, or I wasn't just like, I wasn't into them that much. You know what I'm saying? I know she makes great music, and this, don't get me wrong, Beyonce, everything she has, she earned. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? And she went out there, she's a hustler. She does what she does. She has a loyal fan base. They love her to fucking death. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm tiptoe. That's who I really don't want to piss off here. I don't care about pissing off the Red Hats. I want to piss off the Beehive.
Yo, and I mean, the thing is, like, I respect the out of Beyonce. It's just that a lot of her songs about how you don't want to deal with broke dudes. And as a dude who's been broke most of his life, it's like, oh man, you're talking about me? All right, well. So I'm like, yo, I'm the target. I'm the TLC dude sitting in the side best friend's ride trying to holler. So I'm I know that's TLC. I said TLC, so fuck it. I'm high as fuck. I don't give a fuck. All right.
You ready to do this, man? You ready for more controversy?
Ooh, okay. Is that time?
It's that time.
It is that time. Okay, man. I am ready.
It is time for our weekly top 10. This week's top 10. Let me back up a little bit. I gotta explain to you how this top 10 works, because a lot of top 10s get people in fights, and we don't want that. You know what I'm saying? We're not about that action type here. This is our top 10, and how it works is like, okay, we alternate weeks. One week he's even weeks, next week I'm in even weeks, whatever. You know, so this week is even weeks. I'm like, we're doing what are we doing? Top 10
Saturday morning cartoons.
I asked him what 10 is. He tells me. I give him 9. We said we'll provide context on the show. We tried, people. Like the last few of our top 10s have been pretty solid. This one is gonna get kind of crazy. So if you're watching, feel free to comment in the comments below and let us know what you think. But just remember, this is our top 10. It's time for the top 10 Saturday morning cartoons.
According to the King and Doc. Yeah. According to. So nobody can yell.
Yeah. No one can yell. No one can get mad at me. We got one comment already.
I joke, of course, everyone can get angry no matter what. All right. So.
All right, Doug. What's up, Doug? Goosebumps.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate the goosebumps. It means that you care. Or it means you're a big fan of R.L. Stine. Anyway, number 10 is not goosebumps, but it is in fact. Now, okay, again, I know. Let's just say it. It's Rocky and Bullwinkle. So, like, here's the thing. When diving through Saturday morning cartoons, one must accept that they are problematic. And so this list is also given with the idea that, like, if it were 2025, we'd update many things.
Yeah.
But this cartoon, which has, a Russian enemy and all these things, which these days is, a little bit more appropriate. I don't know. Rocky and Bullwinkle has a special place in my heart because I watched it a bunch as a kid. And for, there's probably some racist stuff here that I didn't even realize as a child. And if I went back and watched it right now, I'd be like, oh my God. But it's one of those things where I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that it was, a fighting show that was feeding me anti-Russian propaganda, and I didn't even realize it. So shout out to the United States cartoonists for letting me know that anyone with like a Russian or Slavic accent is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't watch Red Dawn yet, so I had to watch cartoons. Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's crazy. All right, number 9.
I mean, what else? What else is it? Number 9.
Number 9 is one of my like I said, I had to go back to my childhood. Tried to go with my childhood, so with this pick especially. This group of teenagers were always on a mission to get somewhere. We never knew what they were going to, but there was always some hijinks. I'm talking about Scooby-Doo. I don't know where they were going, but they were always in that mystery machine going somewhere. There was never an explanation where they were trying to get to, what was going on, and why they were in there. But I loved watching it because I was trying to figure out who the villain was, and it was always a mystery for me as a kid. But like rewatching old Scooby-Doo episodes, because I was trying to put Brandon onto it. I'm like, oh, it's clearly the ghost is clearly Mr. Everly, so the owner of the. So now it's like that for me now. But like I remember just everything. It's cool, man. Scooby-Doo, number 9.
Scooby-Doo is legendary, and we'll just we talk about real shit on this podcast. What about the fact that they had Harlem Globetrotters on as guests at a time when that is not the kind of shit that was done, because again, Black people were so often relegated to being secondary and tertiary characters and everything. And so that was kind of a big moment in television history, even though it was on a fucking cartoon. And I think that's also just a good episode of Scooby-Doo. And it's something I agree with. Like I go back and I watch them now with my son. I'm with you. And it's like, oh yeah, it's this dude, but he enjoys the shit out of it. And you see how that stuff crosses generations, and that's really cool.
Oh yeah. All right, number 8. Number 8's here.
Oh boy. All right. So again, I'm sure that this one is really problematic. Like when I think about it, it feels bad. I don't know why, but it just feels a lot bad for a lot of reasons. But anyway, number 8 is the Jetsons.
There you go.
And here's the thing. The Jetsons was fucking cool because of all the futuristic shit. One thing that is cool about, the history of American media, in my opinion, is that you go back and you watch sci-fi, even sci-fi cartoons in some cases, and you see shit that became real in the future. And, the Jetsons has moving walkways and floating cars and drones and all the shit. Some of which becomes real. And so I that's one of those things. And of course, he gives the wife the money. It's sexist as hell. The daughter's an idiot who just goes to the mall, and the son's a genius. Like, again, these things are problematic. They need to be fixed and updated in some ways.
Hanna-Barbera for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about legendary stuff. And again, they need to be fixed for the modern era. They're not perfect. There are certain things that, again, his boy Elroy is the only child who has any brains in the entire goddamn show. But you know what? An interesting look at like capitalism and how they he literally works at a cogs company, and it's like, is it are cogs better than sprockets? And it's like little things in there about how useless the American worker is made to feel at all times. And it's like, it's funny because it's a kid show, but you're sitting there as the parent and you're like, oh yeah, man, fuck my boss. He did say that. It's like, that's what I enjoy as a parent, is seeing the things that are put in for me as a parent when you watch this shit. So
that's pretty dope. All right, number 7. This one, I like the ones with mystery, man. And this one also had a banging as theme song. Life is just a hurricane here in Duckburg. Was it race cars, lasers, airplane? It's a Duckburg. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Oh woo! I'm telling you, bro. This cartoon right here had me in a chokehold. I had to be at home in front of my TV with my snacks by 3:30 because I wasn't missing an episode of DuckTales.
I was a fan of all things duck, so I agree, man.
My man, Mr. Scrooge, would go swimming at money, and I would one day, and like every time I saw it, I'd be like, yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that. Look at that. Royal Quack. This is the best theme song for sure. This thing is a banger.
Well, and it's the fact that he dove into gold coins too. It wasn't just swimming in money; it was swimming in gold fucking coins.
And he said, "Fuck physics," because really, if he'd done that, he broke every bone in his body.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but he spits out. Doesn't he like come up and like spit out a bunch of them too? Like, he's like, his esophagus is like full of gold. He's like, I process gold, bitch. I am Scrooge McDuck. Listen, I love the whole duck like family, like from it doesn't even unrelated Duck Properties, cousins, Darkwing Duck, all that shit. Like I am with you on all of that. So listen, I mean, DuckTales is legendary. Like we're talking about. I mean, this is this is a thing that like even my wife is 4 years younger than me, and she loved it. And so it's like, you know what I mean? Like we're starting to talk about like, and now my kids are starting to watch it. Like this shit again spans generations, and I feel like there's like a Kingdom Hearts reference to Huey, Louie, and Dewey at some point. So now we're talking about it. So
right. Number 6.
Number 6. All right. So number 6 is again a badass show that also spawned another badass show that we'll talk about. But number 6 is Space Ghost.
Oh yeah.
Space Ghost was sick because Space Ghost was like, I mean, like Batman in space or Superman in space, like, yo.
What up, Point?
What up, Hollow Point? Man. Yo, so Space Ghost though, man, like we're fighting like aliens and like giant crickets and like crazy ass monsters and shit. And it's just like some of the first sci-fi I ever saw where I was just like, oh my God, what the hell is this? It was just, it's just like insane. Yeah. And he's got the wristbands, where he's fighting everything. And
I bet that the spinoff you're talking about is Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Bro, oh my God, that was amazing.
And hey,
man, you the best, bro. You the best.
Yo, Space Ghost Coast to Coast is basically like where we get the idea for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember watching that on Cartoon Network.
For sure. Oh yeah.
And bro, the episode where they had Zorak and
he had Dougie Fresh on it. And he was like, D, you're the man. And he was like, no, Space Ghost, you're the man. He's like, no, D, you're the man. He's gonna blast him. That was really cool, man.
Oh man.
You fucked me up with this.
the episode where they interviewed Zorak, which was one of his like main enemies in the show, and he's like talking to him, and Brack's like, "I'm gonna eat your lunch, Zorak," and I fucking just remember like this shit as a kid, like the shit we used to yell at each other all the time. So not only Space Ghost, but Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which was a nighttime show, so not a Saturday morning cartoon, but we'll mention it. So that's number 6, baby.
Before we go on to number 5, let me tell you why my boy Hollow Point is so dope.
Yes, let's hear it.
He gets shout outs on shows that he's not even on. That's why my dog is so dope. Check him out on Fridays, Truth Be Told Sports Podcast. That dude, he low key carries the show. I ain't gonna hold you. Low key carries the show. Number 5. This one could have been anywhere, man, for me, really, because it could have went. I could have put GoBots in this spot. I could have put Transformer in this spot, but I didn't because there's only one robot that comes together and kicks ass. And 100% Voltron over Power Rangers any day. But this is my shit. Voltron.
I spent a lot of time in Asia when I was a kid, and Voltron was a major thing over there. And so like I had like multiple Voltron toys. I had like a whole, the Voltron thing that came together and everything, like, and I destroyed that shit before anyone's going, do you still have it? It's worth money. No, I fucking destroyed the shit out of that thing. And
you gave it to me when I was 6. Like, what was I
yeah. And Voltron was, for me, Voltron was where like the whole Transformer thing began. I'm with you. It's like that's where that whole concept like started. And now as an adult, I refer to myself as alcohol Voltron because of all the bloodlines I have that have a strong lineage for drinking. So, and my family loves that so much when I say that. It's their favorite thing to hear. Seriously. So,
all right, number 4.
I say things that are almost troubling. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really getting good at walking that line. Of just because I didn't say what the lineages were that were known for drinking. That's how you know I'm smart. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then but I drink a lot. That's how you know I'm not that smart. So what are you gonna do? Number 4. Number 4 is probably the greatest white man ever depicted in fiction.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes,
it's close at the very least, and that is Doug.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, he had a crush on Patty Mayonnaise. You know what I'm saying? His best friend was Skeeter. He was blue.
Yes,
like black dude.
Yeah. Skeeter was definitely black. They just couldn't have him be black for some reason. He had to be blue.
Like, come on, bro.
Like, what are we like? We love people of all colors, just not black people though. Like we just can't, everything is, it's like, can we just fix Skeeter had like crimped hair and shit. Like, what they were trying to do.
And then what was the dude? Roger Claus. That dude had jaundice. Like you running from the dude. You scared of dude with jaundice? That dude's sick. Just push him down already. He's sick already.
Yeah. And he's walking around.
Fuck out of here.
He's walking around with his Fonzie jacket, like, hey,
I'm Roger. Like, shut up, Roger. They should have said that instead of Sister.
Yeah, number 1, when your name is Roger, you're not a bully. You're going to get bullied. This is a very different thing. This is not, and you're walking around with a leather jacket in high school in the 90s. Like, they're like, what is this? 1985? You're gonna get beat the hell up. They're gonna be like, "Where's your shoulder pads, idiot?" and then hit you.
Yeah, it's probably hot. You know what I'm saying? You're probably musty because you don't take that jacket off. I've never seen him without that jacket.
Yeah, and then when they remade it,
stuff, you know what I'm saying? And other clothes, I've never seen Roger without that jacket.
Yeah, and they remade it, and he's still wearing it. I'm like, what are you, part of the fucking Columbine massacre kids? Like, you're the trench coat mafia now? What's this shit?
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't trust you, motherfucker. You go ride a different elevator because I don't even think so. Yeah, but again, Doug, good lessons for kids.
Great, fantastic. He kept a journal. You know what I'm saying? He wrote all his problems in his journal.
And that's actually one of the best parts of the show is his own recreations of what happened
Oh yeah.
in his
Yeah, yeah.
mind, which were way the fuck far off from what actually happened in the episode or what did happen later.
Mm-hmm.
And also, liver and onions is the worst meal ever, and I still struggle with the concept of eating liver and onions
Yeah. That's why I
because of
resonated
this show.
because liver, his load for liver and onions is the same, matches mine. So I feel it.
You feel
Number
Doug.
3, I got Thundercats. Ho! In 1995, this show hit Cartoon Network again. I literally ran 5 blocks home to watch it. It's a great show. Lionel was was the man, obviously. Mumra, I think he was misunderstood, you know what I'm saying? Like, who would want to be old and decrepit, you know what I mean? So, of course, he's going to do what he has to do, like, to get the power back, so you become young again. And so he can take over. So, yeah, I kind of get him, but, he just went about it a bad way. But Thundercats, yeah, for sure.
And, Thundercats, too, is one of those things that, like, sort of really grew a cult following over time. Like it became one of those things, like, there are certain shows that adults watch that are, like, meant for kids, but the adults sort of still obsess over it or whatever. And, like, Thundercats for a while really became, like, and that's what I think led to, like, didn't they redid it at one point, right? I think. And
that's how I was able. This is how I'm able to identify other nerds. Is if I walk out and I see a guy, he pull out his wallet, there's a Thundercat label on there. I'm like, oh, I don't have a Thundercat, wallet, but I'm a nerd, so
you can identify it. But you know how to, how to disguise yourself, though.
I'm an ally. Yeah. I've had Thundercat shirts, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm an ally.
I'm an ally.
I'm not rocking the clothing. No. But I believe in your cause, and I want the world should know about Thundercats.
Nerds matter.
Children need to know about Thundercats.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell them, but 3. Yeah, but it's like, as a kid, I love this show. It's my favorite.
Another classic for sure.
Yeah. Number 2.
So number 2, a few different versions, both racist, unacceptably. However, it's one of those things where the racism came from white people trying to do the right thing and trying to be diverse and not having a fucking clue how to do it. And so the show is, it's true. And so the show is Johnny Quest. And, like, the thing about white people is that we just think that everyone from every other country lives to serve us and is excited to be around us. And so the character of Haji and his father, who were there to lead Johnny and his father, and, on their quests and everything. And they would always know, like, the secret information. It's like a little bit of, like, white people being like ancient Chinese secret, right? Like, but putting all of that shit aside, the outward point of Johnny Quest was a kid going around the world with his adventurer father, getting into all sorts of shit and having to, like, fight international gangs. And so, as we discussed on the movie podcast, when we discussed how badass it would have been as a 10-year-old to have a real Home Alone sort of situation, I always thought, like, I'm like, yeah, man, I would love to be Johnny Quest. Like, that was what I wanted to be. It was like a badass adventure explorer or whatever. And it's just funny because, like, they remade this in, like, 2006, I think, with, like, updated, trying to be like, and it was on, Cartoon Network again. And it was like, they still fucking had, like, Hachi and his dad. And it's like, we're like, no, we still need to include them to be diverse. It's like, but you have to, like, figure, they're not like their servants. Like, it's just, and again, it's just one of those things, like, it's like when you see those, like, diversity panels at a movie thing and it's all white guys and you're like, no, you're not doing it right, Seth Rogen was on some diversity panel. It was like 4 white guys. And it was just like, yo, this is not. And so Johnny Quest is something where, if filtered properly through 2025 knowledge, would come out as a pretty badass idea. And it wouldn't even necessarily have to be Johnny Quest per se. You could create a new series sort of distilled from this that would be cool. But there was a lot of cool action, and I just, as a kid, always wanted to be, you know, the Agent Cody Banks, if you will, who was like the secret government spy.
Right.
You know,
you gotta
like,
disappear and just go save the world real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly right.
Can I use the restroom real quick, man?
Then you get on your watch phone, you know, and you call the governor.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was in India. You know, crisis over there.
It's always India.
Oh, my fault.
On Johnny Quest, it's always India.
It's always in India. Yeah. The number one Saturday morning cartoon, according to the King and Doc, He-Man. Now I say He-Man because I recently went back and started watching it, and I was like, what was I thinking? But you know, I wasn't, because I was 5. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, He-Man was like, it was just what you want to grow up be. You want to grow up, you want to be strong, you want to be brave, you want to have muscles, you want to be, you know, so you want to be able to kick ass, you want to be, it was everything every little boy who grew up watching this cartoon wanted to be. Not bad, you know what I'm saying? 3 out of the 4, you know what I'm saying? I had the physique for a little bit, but I kicked ass. It was one thing. I don't know. And someone, you know, I don't know. But He-Man was it for me when I was a kid. I remember when I think I was 5, that Halloween, 85. I was He-Man for Halloween. So I had that mask, the old school ass mask that had the little part cut out of the mask, like for your nose and your mouth, and the trash bag ass fucking suit. I'm pretty sure I dehydrated because I don't remember how I got home. But I mean, I remember not being able to breathe in that mask, and it was very, very hot. So
yeah,
I'm glad I remember that thing.
Yeah. I mean, He-Man, that was like the ultimate. I mean, his name is literally He-Man. Like, it's, you know, when you're a kid, when you're a young dude, it's like, it was the ultimate, like, oh, well, what are you, a He-Man? You know, like, it really was. And it, you know,
show me your muscles. You know, like this, you don't have any, for real.
Yeah. And just like the presentation, though, just the short blonde hair and the like the underwear only outfit with boots. It's like, and like a skimpy top. It's like he's kind of like a Scandinavian stripper, you know. Almost. It's like you know, it's like
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's a vibe.
I didn't understand because like he had the alter ego. He was Adam at first, right? But when he, by the power of Grace Skull, that he somehow got that tan. I always wanted that. Like, hey, Mom, how did that happen? How did it get dark? He's like, well, he was in that fight, so he kind of. Oh, okay. Thanks, Mom.
He been hitting the beats hard for the last 30 seconds.
Oh, so. Yeah, that transformation, and then always like another thing, and you see it in other shows too. Like, they're watching him transform. Like, okay, what are you doing that whole time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How come no one's like trying to attack him? He's becoming He-Man right now. How come no one's like trying to attack him? You know what I mean? There's a whole 35 seconds that you could have shot him at least twice.
I always wondered that about the Power Rangers. Yeah. And like, who the hell is waiting while you're like getting out your coin, and then the dinosaurs have to run here, you know? And it's like, then they have to form into a thing. It's like, yo, I feel like these dudes would have just left.
And then there's so much dialogue. They have to let you know everything that's going on.
Oh, yeah,
we're going to get to the top now.
It's muffin time. Stegosaurus. Like, they're letting you, but also Power Rangers were my shit when I was a kid. So who am I?
Power Rangers was crazy.
I loved Power Rangers, and you know, that's, I mean, not a cartoon, but that's kind of a honorable mention here.
Well, we
and
had
then
some honorable mentions, you know, saying obviously
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe didn't make it. G.I. Joe was always a good one.
Ninja Turtles didn't make it. Man, Captain Planet.
Dude, all your powers combined.
I mean, Captain Planet taught us two things. Number one, that it was okay to have a mullet and be a superhero at the same time.
Okay, that's not where I was going with number one. But all right. I was like, okay, take care of the planet.
Yeah, well, that was the second thing I was gonna say. But you know, no, Captain Planet was pretty dope.
Rocket power. Little bit after my time. Yeah, a little bit after my time. But yeah, my nephew loved rocket power. My nephew Rodney loved Rocket Power. So yeah.
Yo, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's one of those things where this is also going to vary by generation, because like the kids who came after us are going to be like, what the fuck is Rocky and Bull? I think most people are still like, what the fuck
for
is
sure.
Rocky
Like,
and
what
Bull?
are the Jetsons? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like,
that's true. The Jetsons are probably like, what? Oh, they're futuristic. They have video calling. You mean FaceTime? That thing I do every single day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Like, dude, who's watching this in the 1900s? Like, yeah, man, I would smack the fuck out of you. All right.
yeah. Hey, listen, we all remember when Homer designed the futuristic car. So don't try to tell me. I'm just saying. Yo, listen, I think that's the funny thing about these lists is inevitably because we're making a top 10 list and yet we only have 5 choices essentially. Shit will get left off from not only from our 5 list, but shit that wouldn't have even made our list will get left off. And then it's like, oh, yo, I could have done, or if we have the same thing, it's just funny how it goes. Or it creates a situation where you make me say that Equalizer 3 is better than Malcolm X.
That's what happens with these top 10s, man, and that's what makes them so controversial yet fun. They're very interesting talking. There's several talking points that be had in them. But this one was a cool one, man. This is one we kind of, I don't know. This is the one I think people would look at it and be like, okay, they both were high when they made it.
Well, number one, that's true. And number 2, I think that I do think that, again, this one's gonna have the most variance because also we didn't go with time. I mean, when we did hip hop, we did 94 hip hop albums.
Mm-hmm.
When we did sports, we did sports video games and we did specific console games. And so So here we're just opening up to every single Saturday morning cartoon ever.
Yeah. Somehow Equalizer 3 is better than Malcolm X. Wow. In what world? I'm never listening to those guys ever again.
I'm gonna be at a work presentation 10 years from now, and someone's gonna play a clip of me, and they're gonna cut out all the parts where I was like, I can't believe I had to say this. But again, the thing about Equalizer 3, no, I'm just kidding. I won't do my Equalizer 3 speech. Everyone around here has heard it enough. I don't need to do it on air again.
All right, man. All right, so we've reached that time of the podcast where we have to say goodbye. Bid you adieu until next Tuesday. So, you got anything? Any last minute shout outs?
Yeah, we're Thursday doing the Blood Doctor show after the NBA trade deadline. So, if there is a Kevin Durant trade, I will be crying there about it. My boy B is going to join me for that one. So I will be bawling my eyes out if the Suns do something really stupid, or celebrating if we somehow wrangle Jimmy Butler and get rid of Beal. I love you, Bradley. I'm sorry. It just hasn't worked out. But that's me right now. Thursday show, new episode just posted after the AFC and NFC championship as well.
All right. Okay. We Truth Be Told Sports Podcast Fridays. Catch us at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I gotta get better at that. But you catch us on here. You catch us here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, on our Facebook page, as well as on YouTube. So subscribe. Truth Be Told Sports Podcast. Check out the Blood Doctor show on
BloodDoctor.com.
Blood Doctor. What day is that drop?
Whenever the fucking hell I feel like it. It's completely random. There is no schedule.
Make sure you turn on that notification bell, because that thing,
that's what you do. It's random as shit. There is no schedule. It's when I have a manic episode. That's all it is.
There you go. So make sure you're checking those things out. I don't want to have anything else. It's not time, guys. We're a little bit early. Whatever. So we appreciate you, man. Next week.
Appreciate you too, brother. We'll talk soon.
Peace.